Hi guys, welcome. As I promised, I said I was going to do a recap of the 10-piece video that I could not save because I did it live, but I did it live in another account and we couldn't save them. But I'm doing it in my account, and that way then we can share. So we're gonna start with hold on a second. Well, I've been working on something called njproblems.com. It's not like we want to do this whole negativity thing. However, we need to have a place where complaints go to, and then politicians cannot say they didn't know, because that is what is happening. Unfortunately, we believe that politicians know what we're talking about. We believe the politicians actually know what's going on. We believe that even police and law enforcement know what is going on. It's too complicated, it's too many pages, it's too much. I mean, I'm not gonna show you the other side. There's about 3,000 pages of situations here, because it takes a lot of time and power. I don't even think that the federal government or any agency has the capabilities of find out how these people are doing this. So this is why I created this YouTube channel, just in case I have a heart attack and I drop dead, which I am trying not to. However, I'm uploading every day different scams and different things that have happened. So the other day I went around Trenton, and the only video that survived was the last video, which it was at the Treasury Department of the state of New Jersey, and you already saw that video, and I'm gonna show you today certain things. While I'm live, I'm gonna print out each situation here. So I'm gonna print out, the first thing that I'm gonna print out is these documents that belong to the original problem. So I have the addresses here, and that way you guys can go and check these addresses. So the first address is 1037 Greenwood Avenue. So 1037 Greenwood Avenue was one of my first apartments in the city of Trenton. I live in 37 Jarvis Place, which was in West Trenton. That's where I landed from Dominican Republic. Then I went to 455 West State Street, Colonial Gardens, I think is the name of the place, horrible place. But anyway, I lived there, and then, by the way, they sold that place apparently for $18 million. So check what they did with that money and who gave them the money and what they're gonna do with that. So Colonial Gardens was sold for $18 million in Trenton, New Jersey. So I'm gonna give you addresses that I want you to look into it. And I know certain law enforcement people love to be in stuff that I post, so I'm giving you addresses today. So just follow the money, follow me, follow my name, go into all my cases. Please do that. Okay? So we're going to start with 1037 Greenwood Avenue. It was around 2002 when I was there, and that place actually was burned down. That apartment was burned down. And I was like, I couldn't connect all the dots, but the other day, everybody that saw it was like 3,000 people that saw all those videos. But if you saw what I was talking about, I want to do it again. I want to do it in Spanish, and that way my other side of the world knows what I'm talking about. So 1037 Greenwood Avenue got burned down because I used to bring paperwork from my my office. So I didn't know how to connect all this. So I used to work at 302 Franklin Street, which was Roma Restaurant. Roma Restaurant, I didn't want to call it Roma. It was supposed to be El Imperio. That was the name that we wanted, but they kept on saying that because of the way that the management agreement with the liquor license was set up, all my corporations needed to be Roma. Follow. So from there, you can see all this the explanatory situation on NJ Problems in YouTube. The website is gonna be launched next week because it's very extensive, the stuff that we're gonna put there, and we're gonna keep naming names. So then I'm in 302 Franklin, minding my business, trying to help the community, donating money, employing everybody. I don't know why the heater is so hot in here, but then all this stuff happened. Then we get the securities from this other competitor bar, and they go and try to getting into the establishment. The plan was to create a big fight, and then I used to get in between everybody that got drunk in Roma Restaurant, and I used to calm them down because everybody respected me because they knew, they were like my clients were very good, even though they got drunk. They knew better. So that day we have Fulanito, one of the biggest shows there, and the place was packed, and they came in and started trouble. My securities didn't let them in, and they stabbed my securities very badly. Then my father and I, we came outside, and the police, we called the police, and the police came very late. Like it took about 45 minutes for the police to come. Very strange, right? So after that, the place got burned down twice. I didn't know why would they burn the place down, because the place was I at that time I didn't understand why would they burn the place if the place have insurance, and I was working there. I was the manager. I was working, and my deal was I had to make sure $1,500 net stay in their pockets every single week. Even when we didn't make that, we went and used my construction company money and pay for it. So when people ask how I make it, is because I always had different situations going on, which they later on found out. So we're gonna get to that. So now we go to I'm not gonna say the address because my mother still lives there, my sister, but it was my other house. And they broke in. They stole all the money because my sister had the bright idea to keep money there. Back then, we're talking early 2000s, credit cards were not a thing. So then they broke in and took a bunch of stuff. But again, they were looking for paperwork. I did not understand why. They will break in, they will try to burn things down, but it was always targeting paper. My office, paperwork, okay? Then I come back to Trenton. After all that, I lose everything. I go away. I go to Jersey City. And I'm in Jersey City, minding my business. Again, working 3 jobs, doing concerts and things. And I come back to Trenton. I never left, obviously, because you guys see me always trying to help people, trying to, every time that something happens with a community, I come back and try to help. Then I come back and I was working in South Jersey at a bank. And that bank, I discovered that they were doing very, unethical things. And obviously, if you know me, I have a problem when people are stealing from the poor in my community. I don't have a problem. You wanna steal from the banks? That's your problem. I'm not FBI. I don't work. I'm not a cop. And when I passed a test, at first I was gonna go to the military, and then I passed a test to become a police officer, 98 point something, I remember. And then I chose not to become a police officer because obviously people like me are not good into certain police departments, and especially like if it's a political inclined job, which I'm never going to do anything political unless they don't give me my CO on Monday. Then we are going to go to war. But we're gonna get there. So we're still at 379 Hamilton Avenue. That place, you saw the video where the office got flooded. If you haven't seen the video, look into my page or go to New Jersey Problems in YouTube and you'll find it. So 379 Hamilton. I come back to Trenton. I'm dealing with the Paul Perez campaign because he was Latino. We had to support Latinos, Puerto Ricans, you know. When I came to Trenton, my first family that adopted me literally was Puerto Rican. So I have such a great relationship with the Puerto Rican community in Trenton. And people that I call brothers and sisters, they're Puerto Rican. So I'm Dominican, if you haven't realized yet. So I go and I go back to Trenton, and this person that was a really good friend back in the day takes me to 379 Hamilton Avenue. I didn't know them because I really don't even watch news. I don't even follow, you know, I didn't know. She was economic development director for MAC, and then apparently she set up MAC, and she did all this stuff, but I didn't know any of that. And what I was offered was office after work to help people, to help our community, which that's what I have been doing. I got a radio station. I started doing marketing. The radio station, the antenna that actually is a radio station now in Trenton was taken from me back then. When I talk about money, dude, it's a lot of money that was taken from me. But going back to 379 Hamilton, this individual actually, she was sent to set me up. Why? Because I'm the only person that has survived without having a heart attack, without, you know, end up, I don't even know, in drugs or something, dead. I'm the only one that has survived everything that they have through. And I'm not the only person. That's why I'm speaking up, because I am not the only person that has gone through this, and that's why I'm speaking up. I know there's a lot of people telling me I should not be doing this because, you know, it's very dangerous, but at the end of the day, somebody has to do it, because a lot of people have died. A lot of people have lost everything. A lot of people have, my friends, there's people that I care a lot that have suffered this, and I don't want this to happen to anybody else. The state of New Jersey has people from, I don't know if any other place is like this, but at least I'm going to talk about Trenton. The police department in Trenton has individuals setting people up. The courthouse in Trenton has basically targeting people to destroy their finances. The Attorney General's office will not investigate anything of this level, and they will block any investigation. And because there is people that they send out there to set people up. They do, these people, the people that, the special agents, the police officers that really want to do the work, because there's a lot of them, the majority want to do the work, they can, because their bosses' positions are political. So they cannot go against what their bosses want. However, I'm not a cop. I don't work for nobody. So a few times I have ended up homeless, living in my car with my children because of the things that they have done. And that's why the arena, the Trenton, the Cure Insurance Arena is another place, but we're not talking about the county right now. But we're gonna talk about how in 379 Hamilton they tried to destroy this paperwork, but I did have a scanner. Then the Latino merchants went after me personally, and the Guatemalan merchants too. And I had an attorney back then, Andrew Kisneric, that sued the Guatemalan merchants because they actually took a bunch of money from me, and they did what they did. So the group of attorneys that they have working for them it's a lot of people. I have the names. I want to publish them. There's a judge in the Mercer County Court that works with them, and there is somebody that was working in the ABC when I was at 379 Hamilton, and I went to 120 South Warren. I was working at Maxine's, aka South Rio. You saw the video where I spoke about these two young men that they claimed they were gang members, and they were trying to set them up. They knew I put cameras. The owners of South Rio set those young men up, trying to get rid of them because the owners of South Rio owe them money. And the person that was trying to get rid of me at that time was the same realtor that I went to try to get not only Maxine's, aka South Rio, but also a skating ring on later, because I wanted to go. I had to get a loan to buy real estate, because if you are not laundering money for the Chinese government, the Russian government, and doing 3, 4, 5 loans with fake paperwork and people that are dead paperwork, you cannot just go and say, we're going to invest cash into Trenton, where you know, and I know, and I'm living it right now on 37 East State Street. I've been there for 2 years and haven't be able to make $1. They've been kicking my behind, and I spoke about that in that other video. So this particular realtor is a gatekeeper, one of the gatekeepers. There's an attorney that is a gatekeeper that has been making decisions on monies that he's somehow crawled his way from economic development to a bunch of boards. And I mean, that's not my cup of tea, but I just wonder how people are getting into these boards, why we're not looking at how they're getting to the boards, and who are they really, because you know who I am. I can give you my my ID, my taxes. you know, where I live. Everybody knows actually where I live right now. But then going back to 27 Emmanuel Street, which was the house that I was living at, and I want you to check on the deed and what happened and who took the deed after this certain dates. So I'm living in 27 Emmanuel, was where I was working at that bank, and part-time at 379 Hamilton. They get this guy. They sent me this guy to tell me that I can go and get funding for a project that I had to buy real estate and flip them, but ensure that we get grants from banks to fix these properties and give it to people that are renting in Trenton. That was like a bad word. They didn't want that. They don't want that. They do not want that. They don't want you to own. They want you to rent, especially in Chambersburg. And those who are talking about, you know, the Latinos and immigration and all that, that is smoking mirrors. The police department can go and escort ICE to take the bad guys and protect those innocent, but they won't do that. You know why? Because we are walking ATMs. Latinos are walking ATMs for attorneys that are putting a copy and paste affidavit lying about mental anguish and abuse from children over 21 that are citizens and spouses. So then going back to the attorneys, so I'm in Maxine's and I meet this attorney, and then from there he was in every deal that got messed up, from a concert at the arena. You know, the only thing that I actually did good was the big event at the Mercer County Hispanic Festival in Mercer County Park. That was, and then everything else that I did in North Jersey, at the United Nations and Florida and everywhere else, because apparently every time I come to Trenton, there's a problem. So then I meet this guy Mo. So one of my ex wanted a restaurant, so I got him a chicken place in I don't remember where. It's near Pura Vida Lounge over there in Cummins somewhere. So I meet Mo. Mo takes he takes my credit card to pay his light bill, and all of a sudden there's $25,000 gone from all my credit cards. That's where I knew Mo, whatever his name was, if that was even his name, from the hotel, was a scammer. So when I met the real owner of the hotel, Dr. Biswana, Mo said that he was the accountant. So, but I knew that guy was he was wearing, you know how I knew he had a lot of money? Because he was wearing a specific watch, very old school watch that was like $40,000 watch. So it wasn't a Rolex, it wasn't none of that. So I was like, nah, he's not an accountant. So I started talking to Dr. Biswana, and then he told me that he was the owner. And then I told him, because I was in the bank and I was looking certain movements, and then they had like several accounts. So I knew I'm very good, like I said in those videos, I'm very good at numbers. They were stealing money from Dr. Biswana big time. And the manager there was stealing. Mo was stealing. Everybody was stealing. So from there, Mo got a bunch of buildings in Trenton using the What I didn't know how they were getting the buildings. I didn't know how they were getting inspections. I didn't know what they were doing, how they were doing it. But later on, I found out. So we got to. I know they got like a place called Flamingos, which is like, all those places in Chambersburg right now. They're very questionable. So you wanna go investigate, and you wonder why they don't investigate. The Trenton Police Department. So, One West Lafayette, the hotel. Since then, I know that family. So, I've been trying to get them a good buyer, but the gatekeepers of Trenton, they have a thing for that place, and they have a thing for everything else. They know if we can open the hotel and we can bring like the Italians. The Italians they have a thing for Trenton because they say they fixed that area back in the day. They want to fix it again. Italians are hippies. They are not racist. They're not. But one thing they have is that where they go, they will invest, and they will make sure everything is super nice, quality, granite, beautiful, best wine, best cheese, best food. So that is that is competition for the stuff that we have now in Trenton. So they won the chippy. They won we can now we need everything free if you want us to invest. No, you wanna come to Trenton? I already got down $2 million. Right now, listen, they took everything from me. Again. Zero. Minus like $3 million right now. But let's go. Let's go. Because you know what? You know who has seen money and they go and they come back. Trenton for me is not a business model. Trenton for me is not a way to make myself rich. I have 37 East State Streets has been used by Isles and by everybody else that want to use it for the past year for free. They have not given me $1. I have not made $1 from that place. So now we go back to the hotel. Dr. Viswanath dies of a heart attack. He was a cardiologist, healthy as a horse, and he died. Then I meet Deepak, his son. Deepak has been threatened. Deepak has been scared. These are people that don't know the streets, don't know Trenton, don't know that they know lawyers that have used their knowledge, their privileged information on this particular building and transaction, and that have used it to steal from this company, this family, and also from us. Because if we got it the way that this family wanted, we would have a hotel in Trenton, and we would have, an old type of like good retail and a bunch of really nice restaurants. But they don't want that, because if it's not their idea and a way for them to milk money, you think that fraud in Minnesota is big? I suggest that you check your pension plans and where your money is being invested and who's investing it, and how the people from the hotel got $162 million to go to other places in the U.S., in different states, and they claim they are managing pension funds. So then I go to 1841 Greenwood after I lose my house, because after the arena and all this stuff, this specific individual to this day has been trying to set me up, and she was supposed to be my friend. What they didn't know was that I'm 160 IQ and I work 18 hours a day. So you can understand why I do make money, and I know how to fix things, and I know things. I'm not a psychic. I just put two and two together. So this is one of the documents that they've been looking for. A few weeks ago, my friend Andrew Krasnerick died. He was an attorney who they messed with his license because, and I didn't know that this was so big and why they've been trying to cover up for the first fraud aroma. So this individual don't clicks. I saw that last name, and when Andy died, I went through some of the paperwork. You know what? The great thing about being very detail-oriented, this individual, apparently, it was an auditor, and she forged all this paperwork, plus like 300 pages, to blame me and transfer all the Rumor Restaurant to Columbus Lounge tax liability. Over $1 million. I was like 20 years old. Imagine that. I was trying to be honorable because the people that taught me how to make tomato sauce and that what my work was my bond, I was supposed to be loyal to them. And my loyalty cost me all this heartache for 20 years. I didn't know why I was being like hunted down. They keep sending me people. I'm gonna name them in New Jersey Problems. I'm gonna name every case, every person, every Chinese operatives, every Russian operative that they've been working, and they send them to me with like, you know, casually, and not even they come and introduce me to certain people, and all of a sudden they wanna be my friend, my best friend, they wanna do work. So these Dawn Kiltz, that she has another name now, and she's working for the U.S. government. I think her relative stole a building in Times Square from an Italian old lady that she's 95 years old right now. And they keep pushing her from stairs, and she keeps breaking bones every time that I'm trying to get that place sold for her, and then she can go back to Italy. But you see, then I start looking into this, and there's these accountants, and then there is this lawyers, and then there is a place, 142 118th Street in Harlem, from this pastor that was taken too. And then I started looking into names and people and where they work and what they do. And then there's this guy who's an attorney that ran for governor on the Republican side. And he's the attorney for this lady. But then I started looking into his clients and stuff, and then I find he represents people here in New Jersey that has something to do with this hotel situation. So that's all I'm gonna say right now. Trenton, you guys, I will say this, like Venezuela and like every other rich place, you're rich, you have money, there's money for everything except for the people, the voters, the people that put people in power. Those people that are in City Hall right now, except for one or two, they don't care about you. I never got a contract. I never pursued anything. I did a couple things trying to prevent lawsuits against the city, because at the end of the day, my family members that live in Trenton and you will pay for it. We have to protect Trenton Waterworks at all costs. The Chinese government wants Trenton Waterworks. Okay? And another thing that I'm gonna say about Mercer County Board of Social Services, because of you guys, I ended up homeless once, living in my car because you denied me everything after this scammer that sent Mayor Mag to jail. And she was the one that signed every single piece of 1,000+ properties that certain people that are trying to take the hotel right now have for $1 a piece. So you have lots of money to give to so-called developers, but you don't have enough money to give a family, a single mother, a homeless person that has a veteran. You don't have money for that. But I have to pay $38,000 in taxes, and I don't have health insurance. You know why? Because the state's blocking my health insurance, because they're praying that I die. Because I'm the only one that survived all this BS. I told you, the day that you send the asshole to kill my dog, and you cross my backyard and my personal life, and you send that illegal asshole to fake marry me, and then you pay my baby daddy to shred all the documents, that was the end of your political careers. You want this? This is here, together with 3,000 other pages, because I knew you were looking for something, and it was paper. It wasn't money. It wasn't nothing. It was paper. It was your signatures, your documents, your fake stuff, how you set people up. You went after all the Dominicans in New York. All the Dominicans in New York, in the de Blasio, and whatever, I don't even know who was the governor here. Administration. Because they were opening a bank. They were opening a bank. They were opening a credit union to help their community, to own their real estate. They don't want you to own real estate. They set up a bunch of people with a whole cash flow partner thing that I denounced, and then they went after me. But they made the same mistake that they made before. They forged my signature within my Facebook name. That's why I'm here. That's why I survived. Because they could not. And now they're sending people to blackmail me. They're sending people to mess up with my money. And the last location is certain property. The inspection, this particular individual who I have on video calling me names and screaming at me and doing all kind of crazy stuff and saying that, he wants me out of Trenton because he will not give me my plumbing and building inspection. And it's not Hank. Hank is a good guy. So I named him too in the other video. Oh, and by the way, the realtor that I wanted to buy the skating ring, and she turned it into a vacuum place, because these gatekeepers don't care about us, about what the community needs. That's why you see all this crazy stuff like being built that doesn't make sense, and that only complicate things for the locals, because they don't care. As long as they get paid, they don't care. So the next mayor, go to New Jersey problems, because Trenton is the first one, Patterson's gonna be the second one. I am going to put out there everything that we need to fix, because apparently Trenton and Patterson have more in common than meets the eye, and we will show it. By the end of election season, everybody's gonna know. So, with that being said, you think Minnesota got something on New Jersey? No. We always do it better, even fraud. So, go to New Jersey Problems on YouTube and see all the videos that I'm uploading. I'm explaining everything there. And this was an answer for those posting everything of Trenton Orvid. Trenton Orvid, Seychelles, and Valerie Thompson, and also Trenton Stand Up are the places that you can find, and Trenton New Media are the places that you can find the real deal about Trenton. No, none of us get paid by the government. We don't have a government job. We don't have anything. So Trenton Inspections, I am expecting you to do things the right way, because like I said, I don't like to be the drama. But 365 days plus, you wanna mess with my money? And then you don't want me to complain? I don't think so. I have receipts. So when you talk about me, I hope you have receipts, because if you go to the courts and see Ex Britalia cases, read the answers. And explain to me how the Trenton Police Department never investigated that case. Neither anybody else in New Jersey. Have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow.